Everybody's speaking about Draya Michele and the age of the young guy. The guy's from the NBA. All right. He goes by the name of Jalen Green. All right. She's currently pregnant for Mr. Green, in which she announced her pregnancy. Now, with that being said, there's an age. Yes, her name is Draya Michele. All right, so now with that being said, Draya Michele, there's an age factor with her. Women's Day. Today was International Women's Day, and this is true, all about perception. Facts though. Yeah, shout out to all the women. I know this is International Women's Day, but shout out to all the women in the world. You know what I mean? The women, we wouldn't be nothing without women. All right. I was raised by a woman, single parent home, so women are very, very important and very impactful in my life. All right. But nonetheless, back to Draya Michele. Draya Michele, she's a woman. She's 39 years old. Very beautiful woman. Now, the man that she's pregnant for, like I said again, is Jalen Green. This guy he's 22 years old. He plays in the NBA. Now, a lot of people are giving Draya, she's backlash just for the age difference. She's 39 and the kid is only 22. All right, so now there's a lot of different factors. We can look at this the conventional way, which everybody's looking at the convention, the average consumer, the average person. If we do a consensus, I'm pretty sure everybody adopts that same philosophy. All right, there's an age difference right there. That's the elephant in the room. You know what I mean? And you have to speak on that. So with that being said, now Draya at age 39, a lot of people are saying that Draya is chasing this young man. A lot of people believe that Draya is chasing this young man because of his age, the vitality, his age, for the fact that the man plays in the NBA. The kid is in the NBA. The kid is, like I say, he's 22. Mr. Jaylen Green's 22. He plays in the NBA. So those are common factors that everybody's going to look at. They're going to say, okay, Draya's chasing right now. Draya's chasing the check. That's why she's dealing with a young nigga, right? Now, keep in mind, like I said, the kid is only 22 years old. Now, we all know about the money issue. The kid is playing NBA. Obviously, he's going to be a very wealthy young man. If not, he's already wealthy, right? Draya, nonetheless, Draya is not she's not poor nonetheless, but you know, at the end of the day, a woman doesn't want to spend her own check. Well, of course, she wants to deal with a man that brings in more income. Now, this is all about elephant in the room, just him being a different age. First of all, for one, I wonder how people feel. Like, is it a thing where it becomes predatory, right? A lot of people are saying this is a double standard in the industry. All right, let's just talk about it. The age that she is in comparison to this young man. But conventionally, usually it's an older man trying to get at a younger woman, right? And we know when we look at things in that perspective, you know what I mean? It's kind of cringing to look at it like that, thinking about an older man that's preying on a younger woman, all right? Now, naturally, throughout, if you just do a consensus, the general public, we're against that, right? We look down upon that. Now you have this whole situation that's reversed now. Now you have an older woman, all right? Once again, she's a very beautiful, the chick is beautiful, right? You got an older woman, obviously, with all the beauty that she possesses. She's perceived as, oh, you're the new double standard. You're preying on this younger man for obvious reasons that the man has a check, right? That's the dynamics right there. Usually the man is not after this is the dynamics. A woman looking at a man for a check. And we're going to make some correlations with that. Woman looking at a man for a check versus a man looking at a younger woman. When a man looks at a younger woman, we want to invest in women, period. So 9 times out of 10, the man is going to invest in this younger woman. But the genders have changed. So obviously, with the genders changing, you got to think about the objective changes also. So it's no longer the same gender, right? So now this is an older woman. As opposed to an older man trying to invest in a younger woman, you have an older woman that wants a younger man to invest in her. So this is where you see the dynamics change in this situation. So you cannot look at it like a one size fits all, right? This situation is it's kind of like polar opposites when you're talking about the intent. You're talking about the things that you're going to receive, the rewards of doing things like this, right? Man versus woman. Now, obviously, when a man does that, we look at a man like a predator. Nonetheless, this is why she's receiving the backlash. There's a little piece of us that feel like she should not be getting away with this because men don't get away with this. Now, I'm not sure how much it affect this man. First of all, this man is 22 years old. Let's just call a spade a spade. He's 22 years old. The man obviously is a mature young man. All right. With that being said, It's not like what he's doing is against the law, obviously. There's a reason why there's a law there and there's an age limitation there. The man is 22. He's well 4 years past the legal age to be dating a younger woman. This is obvious things that I'm explaining, but we have to take this into consideration. With that being said now, is she actually preying on this young man, or is she just preying on a man? A woman requires to be taken care of at the end of the day. And you have to take into factor is that she's getting at this young man for obvious reasons. He's young, he's naive, he's not experienced in dealing with a woman that's so advanced and so pretty, obviously. So these things can be blinding to this young man. These are the things that people are skeptical about, right? Don't shoot the messenger. These are the things that people are skeptical about, right? But as a factor, once again, the main concern is she wants to be taken care of by a man, though it's not the age that we are used to, that we accept, right? Obviously. But you factor in all the naiveness of this young man, vice versa, right? Now, you have a thing called willpower. The man is of age. He's getting at her. Who's to say that he's that naive? Who's to say that he's not trying to take advantage of her? He has his objective also. And to be at the age of 22, you have to be skeptical about making excuses for a young man's choices at that age, all right? The man is 4 years past. He's 4 years past the legal age. Keep in mind, once you reach 21 and 22 of these ages, once you pass 18, I think legally you could purchase a firearm, okay? You're 21, at 18, kids are in the military. You got kids in the military making grown people choices. So though, yeah, they're at an inexperienced age, they're still past the legal age. So when you look at it, is she actually doing something wrong? This man already got Draya pregnant, which is something that we have to do. We have to procreate out here. So you cannot blame the man for getting the girl pregnant. All right? They're bringing a child into this world. So those are things that we have to accept because that's organic, that's natural. That's what you would expect, right? So you're speaking about the naiveness. That's the only thing that I think that people are more concerned over. But I don't think that's reason enough to condemn her. All right? Me, myself, I'm not against an older woman talking to a younger man. I'm not against that. All right? Because we're put here to populate the planet. And we as men, that's what we're here for. Main primary objective. And not every woman's going to be the ideal age. Let's just be honest here. But we have to procreate. We have to make children out here. This is natural life. So when people are judging Draya Michele, we have to keep that in mind. Yeah. She's getting at him because he got paper. But I don't think it's necessarily just because of his age. But age does play a factor. But does that trump the natural desire and the instinct to breed, regardless of the fact he's a young man? It's a grown man, young man, and he already breeded her at this point. All right. Now, when you're looking at an older gentleman and he's doing it with a younger woman, it's the same thing. We think about the naiveness of a younger woman, right? But for some reason, we as people, when we correlate the two, we as men, we get the bad end of the deal. We as men, when you see an older man speaking to a younger woman, I'm not speaking about the ages of 28, 29. Those are cool ages. But when you get a little bit below that, when you start getting to the 26s, the 25s, the 23s, the 22s, it gets more and more cringy. We're trained like that as a society. That's what we're trained to see. When we see older men, we think, and then we start assuming things that we haven't seen, right? We start assuming like, oh, he's a predator. He's around and he's probably looking at her from a younger age. So now this is where it gets a little bit deeper. Because a lot of people are under assumption that if you talk to a younger woman, if a woman speaks to a younger man, there's a chance, there's a probability that they were interested in that same girl or same woman, same girl, same man before their legal age. Now, this is our main concern right here, right? We're concerned Was Draya Michele focused on this young man prior to him being 18? Was she aware of this young man prior to him being 18? Right? Cause that you stumbling into the gray area of a predator at that point. Does she have a thing for younger men? That's a question. Now listen, I'm just putting things in speculation, right? I'm playing devil's advocate, but no, am I not by no way, shape, or form saying that Draya Michele is a predator. All right, nor an older man. You got to think about what Shaq was doing. Shaq at his age hollering at when Shaq, they presumed that Shaq was hollering at that girl from Home Depot. They was thinking about that, right? This subject is very, very, very it's a critical subject. It's a critical subject nonetheless. All right. So when you think about these two, the crazy how women don't get the same consequences when they are indeed predators. Facts though. Now, once again, you saying the word predator. This is an unbiased platform, so I'm curious to know how everybody feels. But that's what they're calling Draya Michele. They considering Draya Michele a predator. All right. I don't know how how did she become aware of this man? Through what channels did she become aware of this man? Was this a friend of hers, a child? Was this a mutual friend's child? Was it somebody close to you that you watched this kid grow up as an adolescent? Or were you totally oblivious to this man existing? All right. If y'all don't know, we talking about an NBA player, Mr. Jalen Green. All right. I don't believe that's his name. Yes, sir. Jaylen Green. He's pregnant, right? He pregnant Draya Michele. We're all familiar with Draya Michele, very beautiful Instagram model. I would call it the new age Instagram model, right? Didn't the world just crucified Marcus Houston with his wife being 19 and he 42? Now listen, you're making a valid point right there. You're making a valid point right there. Yes, she was 19. And see, when you speak of 19 now, when you're going below the ages of 21, I didn't even go below 21 there. So so Victor Burst, man, I like that comment right there. Didn't the world just crucify Marcus Houston with his wife being 19 and he's 42? That part. Nah, he definitely received a lot of backlash for that. A lot of criticism for that, right? And we already know about his past. We're not going to go into his past because I don't want to persuade people's opinion of him just for sake of this subject. But he has a promiscuous past also, right? A very peculiar past, to say the least. All right. But yes, he received a lot of backlash for that. Him being a man, talking to a woman that's 19. All right. So these are things that we're seeing out here, and like I said, it's becoming more and more of a topic when we see subjects like this. And I think one day we're gonna have to address this. Eventually, we got to just address this double standard because I find it weird. At one point, there was a double standard with Puffy and Young Miami. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to home team Young Miami. At one point, there definitely was a problem with that. All right. Obviously, Puff being his age, past the age of 50, Young Miami being about 28, 27. I know Young Miami just turned 30, I believe. All right. So people are always skeptical about Young Miami and Diddy's relationship. All right, let me address some of these people in the comment section. Shout out to Paul Bizzle in the comment section. I see you, champ. Peace, fam. I'm in the building. That part, my brother. Yeah, we call this the graveyard shift. You heard? That's why I want everybody to keep their notification bells on. Make sure you guys are sharing this podcast. Right now, we're just speaking about Bizzle. Right now, we're speaking about Mrs. Draya Michele, beautiful Instagram model, dating NBA player Mr. Jaylen Green. All right? And I'm curious to know what team Jaylen Green plays for. Let me see what team Jaylen Green plays for, man. Let me see what's going on. But nonetheless, she's talking to this man, and there's a double standard out there. Basically, this is an older woman, age 39, talking to a man that plays in the NBA. Goes by the name of Jalen Green. All right. He plays for the Trail Blazers. All right. So shout out to Jalen Green. He plays for the Trail Blazers. Now, this is a young man, 22. He's currently dating, and that's now his baby mother, Draya Michele. She came out. She made an announcement that she's pregnant for this young man. But there's a big double standard that people are highlighting with this relationship, right? We're always speaking about that. But when it's a man dating a younger woman, we find it to be cringing, right? But now there's a new dynamic out there. You have older women that are speaking, that are dating younger men. We call these women cougars, right? Now we talking about the double standard where we see a man versus a woman doing the same thing. Obviously, there's different objectives there. We as men, we invest in women, and women they want to be invested in. So you have older women that are trying to speak to younger men, date younger men. Eventually, for these younger men that might whatever financial bracket they're in, but wealthy men, such as in this case, this man plays for the NBA. All right, so obviously he's going to be taking care of her. So we look at the objective, and sometimes we question the motive. Right? And when you're talking about somebody pursuing money, all right. But us men, regardless of the fact whatever side of the fence you're on, right? It's still looked at as predatory. You're speaking to somebody so young and so naive. So once again, Draya Michele, she's receiving a lot of backlash, and we're just giving different examples. There's a lot of different examples of people doing the same thing. Like I just mentioned, you have Puff Daddy and Young Miami. All right, not everybody was skeptical about that. You didn't hear too much people had problems about that, right? So it's kind of like, what's your intention? So it's deeper than just the age difference, right? The age difference is the main factor, but there's a lot of factors that play into it that persuade people's opinion of the dynamic, right? Because it's like, according to the relationship, that's how we judge the people. Nobody was judging Diddy with Young Miami. But when you see somebody like Shaq's age, Shaquille O'Neal, trying to holler at a younger woman, for some reason it's cringing, right? For some reason, Shaq gets a lot of backlash for that. Or he's trying to holler at the younger women, right? But now you have this whole tables turn. Now you got women doing the same now. Draya Michele is currently pregnant for Jalen Green, Trailblazers player. All right, NBA young man. So, for the most part, man, I'm just skeptical. I'm still on the fence about this subject. And in the near future, I would love to revisit this whole topic. You know what I mean? But like I said, there's just more dynamics to it. You got to think about somebody's intent at the end of the day. My son Shaq a pimp. Yeah, Shaq. I don't know if Shaq's a pimp. I know Shaq is an officer. That I know. All right. Now, moving on. Make sure you guys are hitting that like button. Make sure you guys are sharing this podcast. All right, we're just speaking about Draya Michele and Jaylen Green's new relationship and the backlash that what's the name is receiving. Draya Michelle's receiving. All right. Make sure you guys are hitting that like button. We call that wiping your feet on the rug. Same way you do at your grandparents' house. Show that you guys are raised right. Make sure you guys are sharing this stream. Share the stream for me. All right. Share this podcast. This is episode number 77.